Hey collective. So if you clicked on this video, I hope you're a middle child, okay? Like this video is just strictly for my people who grew up in a home and you're the middle child. It don't matter how many siblings you have, you're the middle child, okay? We need to have a chat for a minute here. Um I know y'all probably heard of the middle child syndrome, like you're the middle child, so you pretty much get neglected or overlooked, or, you're an afterthought in your family because, like the older siblings get all the attention because, they're the first to do everything. And then you got the younger one, the youngest sibling, the baby one, they're the spoiled brats, and they're the ones that gotta get looked after, and then there's you in the middle, and you're just okay there. Like, I know I couldn't be the only one who experienced middle child syndrome, especially growing up, you know and you probably had, like I said, older siblings who, they were praised. They were given the responsibility to take after like the younger siblings. Um, they were looked at as the smart ones, the ones that would look out. The ones the first ones to go through the birthdays and the celebrations and the graduations, and then you had your younger siblings who they're pretty much like spoiled brats, and they're just floating through life. And then there's you that you're pretty much just there. You're there, they see you, but that's just it. Like you're not really, you were probably one of the, like growing up in your household, you probably were like one of the last ones to dinner. You were probably left out of a lot of things. Just like really forgetful. And so as an adult, you probably tried to overcompensate, for wanting to get that attention or wanting to feel needed or not overlooked. So you probably are somebody in your career that's like a top performer, somebody who's goal driven and motivated. Um, you're somebody who's probably very responsible in your adult life now. And you're probably somebody that your family actually needs. And now, as you are an adult, they're not overlooking you, they're actually considering you. But that's it. I mean, that really depends. If you pulled your energy back from them and you showed them like, okay, you don't need them, then yeah, they're probably checking for you right now. But if you're still in their energy and they're taking advantage of you, and the dynamics are still the same, then it probably doesn't feel much different as a middle child. But I don't know. I just feel like there's something special about us middle child children, like where now, like that I'm an adult, like because I went through a lot of isolation stages where I felt like I was alone. I'm more than able and capable of handling life. Um, I just enjoy my solitude. I enjoy my times alone, and I can sit in silence for long, long periods of time and not go crazy. Not, I'm just at peace. And I want to know: is there other middle child children out there? Like how are y'all lives turning out? Because my life is turning out great. Like from just an independent standpoint. Like I don't depend on anyone for anything, and I think that that's a quality that middle children we have to develop, especially early on, because when you're always being overlooked and left out, it forces you to not depend on other people for things, so you start to develop ways to where you are independent from other people. And that also makes you more adaptable. You're probably somebody who can adapt to any room that you walk into. Like the energy, you shift it, but also depending on the energy of the room, you know how to read the room. And then you adapt accordingly. And you also know how to adapt to people's personalities as well. I feel like this is a good trait for middle child children. We used to probably like just be so depressed and just hate life. But I don't know. I mean, if you're a middle child, let me know if you experience the middle child syndrome. Some people, I don't know, maybe you haven't experienced that, but I know, like, for me, for sure, I've definitely experienced that. But I don't regret going through that because the person I am today is, you know, I'm much better off because of what I've experienced. So let me know y'all thoughts in the comments below on my middle child children. Let me know what y'all think, and how was y'all experience growing up, the family dynamic, and how is the family dynamic now that you're older. How have things changed? Let me know. I'm just genuinely interested in knowing. But yeah, make sure you like, comment, and most certainly subscribe. It's Car. Y'all know how we do over here. And I'm signing out. I'll talk to y'all later.